What if a single book could change the entire trajectory of your life? Today, we're diving deep into Kevin's remarkable journey from a curious kid reading about Netscape to building and selling his own tech company. This is a story about passion over calculation, family dynamics in startups, and the messy, beautiful reality of entrepreneurship. You'll hear authentic moments of triumph, frustration, and even a delightful interruption from real life. Let's begin with where it all started.
Sure. Yeah, I was born in China, grew up in Canada, went to the University of Waterloo and studied engineering there. In my third year, I found an internship at a startup in Silicon Valley. And I guess like even prior to that, when I was growing up in Canada, I always wanted to just work on startups. I read this book called Netscape Time, written by the founder of Netscape, Jim Clark, and it featured a very young Mark Andreessen. And even when I was, this was like when I was 11 or 12, I read the book, and I decided back then that I would be doing startups when I grew older. So the opportunity finally arose when I was in my third year of university, and I worked for the startup, caught the bug, and dropped out of school and started working on startups ever since.
That spark of inspiration from a simple book about Netscape would eventually lead Kevin to make one of the biggest decisions of his life. But when you come from a family of double PhD parents, dropping out to chase a startup dream isn't exactly the expected path.
Wow, that's kind of quite a like high risk move. Just
Yeah,
given that, like especially coming from Eastern cultures where families don't approve of
hmm
like
yeah, it's
simple
even worse
risk.
because my parents are double PhD.
But here's what's fascinating about Kevin's mindset at that time. This wasn't about carefully calculated risk assessment or weighing pros and cons. It was something much more fundamental.
What was your risk calculus like as you were
It
like
wasn't
making
a
that shift?
calculus. Like I just wanted to do startups, and I hated going to school. Like I really didn't disliked an authoritarian figure telling me how to study and what to study.
So when Kevin finally dove into that first startup experience, did the reality match his expectations?
So I guess what was when so then you said you worked at a startup. What
Yep.
was like your first day at working at a startup? Was it what you had imagined or was it
It
something
was
different?
super chaotic and exactly how I imagined it.
That startup chaos Kevin embraced would eventually lead to real success. His first company became part of the Facebook games phenomenon that dominated social media in the early 2010s.
Yeah, so the first company I started with my then girlfriend, now wife, and it was a social gaming company. We were creating Facebook games back in 2009. And this is the era when Farmville was still very popular. So we were creating a princess dress-up game on Facebook, and that quickly morphed into a mobile game. We worked on it for about 18 months, and then we got acqui-hired by a larger gaming studio.
Success in business is one thing, but Kevin learned some hard lessons about mixing business with personal relationships. Sometimes the most important insights come from what you decide never to do again.
My biggest takeaway from working on that company is it's really difficult working on a startup with your significant other, and I would like never do it again.
Nice. Yeah,
Like,
I think
I
that
think that move is super high alpha. Uh, like when it works out very well. Like you have examples where like Cisco, the founders were a couple, Eventbrite. I'm trying to think of some other examples, but they escape me. But I think just for me personally, like doing it once with my wife was enough.
Kevin's entrepreneurial journey wasn't just about internal challenges. The startup world itself presented obstacles that had nothing to do with the quality of ideas or execution.
Yeah, so that was difficult. The other part that was made it difficult back then, I remember distinctly, is fundraising was very odd because my wife was a CEO, and we would go into meetings, and the investors would ask a question, she would answer it, and they would immediately turn to me and ask, like, Kevin, what do you think?
oh, and then what like was it like had you discussed those questions or were you just suddenly like I don't know like How
No,
would
I
you?
was just like, well, Mary already answered the question, so why are you asking me?
And speaking of real life interrupting the best laid plans, well, sometimes it happens right in the middle of a podcast interview.
Sorry,
I-
Carrie. No, Carrie. You're not leaving the meeting. Okay, it's time to go. Okay, I'll make you some new lemonade.
Yeah, you better.
Okay, what?
You better.
What did you say?
You better.
Okay, go.
Like right now.
I will after this call. After this call. Carrie, do you want me to cancel your screen time?
It's already
Do
canceled.
you want me to cancel the TV?
No.
Okay, then let me. Carrie, after this call. After this call. Carrie, I will make it after this call. Do you want me to get mommy?
What?
Do you want me to text mommy?
No.
Okay, apparently I'm making lemonade now. Give me one
Okay.
sec.
Yeah, cool. No, no worries.
Us. And that's Kevin's story. From a childhood book about Netscape to building his own tech company, navigating family expectations, learning hard lessons about business partnerships, and dealing with the realities of bias in the startup world. All while being a parent who makes time for lemonade requests in the middle of important conversations. Kevin's journey reminds us that entrepreneurship isn't just about the business. It's about following your passion, learning from every experience, and staying human through it all. Thanks for listening, and remember, sometimes the most authentic moments happen when life interrupts our perfectly planned scripts.